Hello, welcome back to Nimi's Garden. Last episode we got 2 levels done, which I would still say is great progress for a world that's supposed to be difficult. So yeah, with worlds 1 through 5 done, let's move on to world 6. Oh, the level representing world 6, Forever Leak. Just gonna get into it, I guess. Flower Dash Plains. Oh, speaking of, a couple levels ago when I was trying to decode the bonus, I forgot what the tempo level was called. Is it temple? Yeah, it's temple. Okay, plains it is. Oh, sorry, what did I see? Forever leak. Faucet is shift. Text is weak. Okay. I have print, I have directional pull, so I can change the direction of the pulling. So text can be directionally pulled, I guess. Wall is one, wind is one way and still. Wall is stop and still and safe. And Nimi is you. So I just need, okay. I just need to navigate the word is all the way here. So is needs to be pulled at some point. So, okay, what are the difficulties we have? So the first one is definitely pulling downwards. I need to pull down at this point, likely. And if text got in here, I can pull out towards the left. Here I can, or if it were here, I can just push up and push out. Okay, and then I can push it in. But it cannot be pulled down always, because then I will not be able to leave like this. So it must be like a timed pull down, I guess. Right? Text is weak. Okay. So how many steps will it take for me to potentially get a pull down to work? I mean, if I start the faucet with shift, I will end up here or here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I will need 13 steps for a single downward pull. For the single downward pull that I need. So if I try to make a timer, I mean, we definitely don't have enough spaces vertically or horizontally. So even if we're facing down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah. I like how this entire column is exactly 12 spaces tall, which is just one off from even potentially working, which it isn't. I can't make text this weak because of all the stuff here that's in the way. There are actually potential ways to get it through without actually having it touch anything. Which makes me think that, okay, in that case, besides a down pull, I'll also need a left pull. I also need a right pull. But surprisingly, I won't need... no, at this point, I'll need an up pull. So, if text is weak, I could get it through provided I go through all cycles of pull. Down, left, right, left again, then up. Okay, so I have two options now. Either I get a timer to work and do a single down pull here, or I maintain text is weak and get a cycle of all 4 pulls. How in the world am I going to get a cycle of all 4 different directions? That is not easy. Okay. Can I have text? Yeah, can I have the faucet? The faucet printing text can stack text. So, for example, in this case, we can stack text by doing this. There are now multiple pieces of text on this cell. And using that, text is shift can then help us shift text. So what if I wanted text and faucet is shift, with faucet facing down and text facing horizontally? Then I could change directions Okay. So, okay, let's say the faucet prints a random word. How about shift? Okay, whatever. The faucet being shift while it's being pulled is okay, I would say. Okay, let's put the faucet in a good place. How about here? I need it to be pulled up. And then pulled down. Okay, so now it's shifting downwards, or it's facing downwards. If text and faucet is shift, I might actually want it to be the other way around because I want this text to be... Actually, can the faucet print another piece of text for me? Thank you, I would like another piece of text. I need this other piece of text to create the statement closer. I want to create text and faucet is shift and time it so that this piece of text here, which I'll place here, let's have it be pulled down like, I don't know, here. Now I'm wondering why this wouldn't work. One thing I could think of is maybe that the shifting can cause things to go very awry. But potentially when the text shifts downward, it will eventually create text to shift. Okay. Are we done? We might be. Yeah, did I cheese it? Probably. Well, it is time to report this cheese. I would say it's probably a cheese because we didn't use the word weak. Yeah, and the word weak couldn't have been like a debilitating part of the debilitating rules. Like typically if the word weak was there and it was actually relevant, it would be in the corner and like text would be weak consistently or something. But no, in this case, weak was out in the open, so I could form the statement wherever I wanted it. I could not form the statement at all. I think that's cheese. Okay. Well, let's move on. After that is World 7, which is the Pumpkin World, or the Autumnal Thicket. Intercardinal. Oh, it's woods. Alright. Throw, push, stable twice. I have 2 stables. Interesting. Grass melts hand. Is grass defeat? No. Fox and grass is still. So this fox is still. Okay. Grass is also still, but hand can be pushed around. Okay, and somehow I need to cross this gap. Is... Wait. Is a double throw possible? Like, if I got a throw upwards and I got a throw leftwards, that might be possible, right? Okay, but how would I make the... I might want to start with a stability check because I want one of the hands to be pushed and one of the hands to not be pushed. Okay, so the idea is to have a double throw potentially throw me diagonally. Yeah. Okay. So if one hand were here, I would say have it be right. I want a stability check. We'll have this hand be stable, so it won't be pushed. Now the fox can be hand, but that will also be stable. Hmm. Wow, why do I have 2 stables? It implies I want 2 different objects to be stable. I want the fox to be the hand and like one of the hands to be pushed. Particularly this one. Okay, so can 2 objects be thrown to stack? Yes, okay. Can two objects be throw to stack, say, the stable and push together? Potentially. And I'm hoping that this can allow me to, you know, generate that stability check because, well, I mean, I already explained the rationale for it. Okay. So now hand can be pushed. It's pushed right now because turns out if two rules are formed together and one of them is stable, the other rule still takes place. But I'm hoping if I have it initially be stable and I swapped it out, yes, this does not gain the push effect because it's always stable. So the stability starts earlier, and the existence of this second stable, like retains the stability of this hand, whereas the push is newly added on, which by the laws of stable would prevent the push rule from being added. However, if a fox were to now become a hand, because this rule has been active since the start of the fox becoming hand transformation, this hand would be pushed. Okay, so now the hands are stacked. If the hands were now both throw at the same time, would I get thrown diagonally? Yeah! Also, wow, the text gets stacked here. Cool. I think much like the World 4 puzzle, this one was just mostly an extra trick that you needed. I did like the fact that on top of the trick of the diagonal throwing, which I would say eventually you would, realize was necessary, there's also the whole stable thing going on. We learned about the stability check all the way back in World 6, right? When we had the two tele puzzles. And one of them... Actually, no, even before that, the World 2 had the stacking level, where we would like stack two keys or something. And yeah, that introduced to us that, stable would allow us to have two identical objects, each have different properties, which we then used in World 6 for that tele level, and now that idea is returning in this one. Okay, cool. World 8. Show 10. Never seen this level before, I don't think. Ooh, scroll and unstack, flower. Okay, armors are all one way. This armor is facing... Is it facing down? Oh no, it's facing left. So I can't enter here. But something can get trapped in here, for whatever reason. Okay, we have scroll again, we have unstack, which was... Actually, I really should go back and explain, or at least introduce all the new words. World 6 introduced print and scroll. In this world, it was only just print. In this world, we introduced hop and throw. Only throw was introduced, or only throw showed up in this level. And in show 10, we introduced unstack, which is the main mechanic of the world. But then there was also repent and sinful, which were the words along the side plot. Words along the side plot of this world. Okay. So skull melts text, which means for whatever reason, text goes in here and I can push text further in to melt it. That's weird. Flower and tree near wall is safe and defeat. Okay, but not near wall means they're fine. Tree is tree, flower is flower. So these things can be destroyed to help us. Okay, armor is one way. So once I'm in here, I'm in here. I can bring in, I think, two objects or two pieces of text. I can't push any of these, so the locations of these objects are basically unchanging. I can bring in two pieces of text. Potentially to form a rule here, actually. Yes, a rule can be formed there. So I could put in a piece of text here, and then with the remaining two pieces of text, form a rule here. It looks like I definitely want an alternator of some kind, so yes. And then, for some reason, I want to activate float. Well, actually, flower and tree have to be here. Actually, the skull melting the text implies that I could actually have a long chain of text in here. I could continuously push in and I'll be fine because the skull destroys the text, allowing me to enter. And if I had an alternating sequence of flower and tree, then this statement here would alternate between flowers float and trees float. Okay, so do I want to alternate that? I want a long sequence of text that alternates between flower and tree, and I want to push that entire thing in. Okay. The question is, how will I generate text inside here? I can't push an object. Text can scroll. Unstack would help. So if I stacked flower and tree... So maybe I could go text is unstack here. But the question is, if I need a really long sequence of text, how do I gain all of that text to begin with? I definitely want to destroy... I would say maybe destroy text. These objects are not movable. And I do realize they are like the corners of this 4x4 square, which is very interesting. It allows maybe... I don't know what it would allow. I can also stack text by having... I can do flower is hot. Sorry, flower is melt, text is hot. And then flower to scroll... Oh, then flower needs to scroll tree, which means the flower text needs to be here. So flower will scroll tree, and this will allow me to stack flower and tree. And I'm thinking that what this would potentially do is allow me to... Well, it will allow me to start off with the two object texts being stacked together. So if I could get like a scrolling of both texts at the same time, that would be nice. But how do I make this infinite? I want to say tree is hot, text is melt. Text scrolls both of those texts. And then text is unstack. But text needs to be so many things at once. Text needs to scroll everything. Text needs to be melt and unstack at the same time. That is unlikely. And how do I do that all in here? I don't know. And I can't bring in any object, yeah, because flower and tree can't be moved in, the text can't have flower or tree. So with only text in here, what can I do? Text can unstack, but... well, okay, I guess there is a tree or flower here to do some destroying for me. Yeah, so text in here can be destroyed by the tree if tree was hot. The unstacking of text in this case would then allow me to well, I don't know what would happen. It seems quite volatile, to be fully honest. Also, I definitely do want the text is unstacked to only occur last, because If it happened early on, the text would just unstack, which I don't like. But don't I need to bring in 3 pieces of text then? There is an unstack to be brought in. Oh no, it could be text is here, and then I push in the unstack. So the text I need to bring in is the unstacked text, and also the 2 object texts stacked on top of each other. Okay. And then I can use a third object to potentially just give me another piece of text, because I need text to be 3 things at once. Okay. So we'll start by flower. Flower will be melt, text will be hot, and flower will scroll tree. So this will give us a stack as we demonstrated before. Okay. Now I want tree to scroll text. Tree will be melt. Okay, how in the world am I going to get... okay, no. Tree can be melt and hot at the same time, and then tree can scroll text because I have another piece of text here referring to the tree. So I don't actually need the text to melt the tree. The tree can destroy itself. Okay, with another piece of text, I can now get the text to be 3 things at once. So text can be unstack, text can be melt. I need to bring the unstacked text. Text is will be here. Text will also have to scroll stuff. Oh, what will text scroll? I don't know. Text will need to be melt while tree is hot. Okay, but what will text actually scroll? Maybe the text can scroll itself. That is one final connection that we can make. Okay. So with all this text in place, what can happen? I mean, because we have 2 pieces of text here, there will always be 2 pieces of text generating. It's just not going to be flower and tree. That's the problem. Oh. Well, that sucks. That's very anticlimactic. Yeah, that's anticlimactic, if anything. I don't know what I want, though. Like, I want the 2 texts to be here. But I also want... But I also want this text to appear up here for text to scroll that. Does text need to scroll multiple things? Does text need to scroll multiple things? Or is it that because there are 2 pieces of text here, I think the text will need to scroll multiple things. How will the text do that? How will the text do that? I need a lot of things, don't I? Well, all those things can also unstack to give me more text, but I want a lot of it to be stacked. Is my idea going to work in the first place? Maybe not. Like, in what world will I actually get all this unstacking to like be good? If the text scrolls... Oh, I might need to go to the editor for this. Shall I pay a visit to the editor? Let's do that, right? Why not? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna already have these 2 pieces of text going on. I also want another piece of tree text. We know we want text is. We know we want unstack in here. We know we want whatever. Text can scroll that. Text can be melt while tree is hot. Okay, so let's test this out. Whatever, text scrolls, all that nonsense. I push that in. Yeah, so basically text is... Actually, there's a lot of text in there. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, maybe not. That's not good. Okay. What if it were maybe just a single object that was being scrolled? See, the reason why I'm doing this is I have like very little idea of what the interactions are going to be. It's hard for me to explain what actually goes on here. Right? Okay, so what if that happened and it wasn't stacked on top? Alright, I'm just gonna put this text in here. Let's get rid of you. Let's put you here. Whatever, I'll get rid of you. So just in the... I don't know. What would this do if I didn't start by destroying everything first? Right. Whatever, let's have you guys point down. If you guys all pointed downwards, the whole thing is the exact same anyway. But only flower gets stacked in. Also, like, I think because so many things... Actually, no, tree does get stacked out as well. Huh. So... Yeah, I guess the tree text does in fact. Like, I think it's exponential, really, because... when you reach the next tree, right, that one also gets destroyed and it also starts scrolling stuff. So now you get two different scrolls occurring. And then both of those unstack. And then when you have a third tree and a fourth tree and a fifth tree, you just get like exponentially faster and faster in your movement. Which I don't think I like. But I don't know how to avoid that. Okay, I'm gonna return without saving. It's gonna send me to the list of levels, but we've seen most of them already, so no spoilers here. That is not the interaction we want then. What interaction would I like? I don't know what interaction could do that, honestly. Also, I don't want it to be like a continuous... Yeah, I don't want it to be a continuous production, right? Because if it was, then there's just no way I can actually push anything in here if everything keeps growing this way. I'll just get stopped by the text that happens to be here and then get stopped by whatever text is here and hasn't been melted yet. So I want a limited number, a finite number of texts going in here. And how many is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I need at least 11 pieces of text. Actually, no, only 10. Only 10. I need 5 tree texts and 5 flower texts. And I could push that all in and I'll be done. But how do I gain that many pieces of text? Is there a way to get exactly 10? Oh, also, show 10. Okay, I get the title. I need to show 10. But the question is... I can't do that, right? I know the maximum stack limit. The maximum stack limit for stack text is 6. Which means that there is no way I'm creating 10 pieces of text all stacked on each other, which unstack in here. And I need them to all be in one stack, because if they weren't, then I have multiple pieces of text to push in. And if I push in the unstack and I push in the stacked piece of text, I can only do one stacked piece of text. Try saying that 3 times fast. Okay. So what do I do? Do I want to start a process and then end it? If I did start a process and then ended it, what kind of process would that be? It could be an object here that produces text moving in one direction until it breaks a statement. That could end the process. Maybe not. The fact that it alternates is kind of interesting as well. I feel like if that were the case, right, I would want the creation of text to also alternate in some way to match the alternation down here. So the text might do scroll, flower, and tree. Okay. So, aha. I have an idea. Could a single... So text will exist on, let's say text and... Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Text, I want it to stack with the word... How about tree? So here the flower will be melt, the text will be hot, and the flower will scroll the word tree. Okay, so now we have the word text and tree stacked together. Next, when this unstacks, what happens? The text unstacks. That is not what I expected, and maybe not really what I want either. Because I was hoping that this over here, like, if trees melt, sorry, if tree is I have no idea what I want. I do know some interesting gimmicks about unstack from like all the level making I was trying to do before. If text were to unstack, right, it's always the same piece of text that unstacks, no matter what you do. There will be a single piece of text that stays, and any other piece of text that stacks on top of it in any way will always be the thing moving out of it, no matter what. So I was hoping that the word text itself stays in place, and then the other piece of text unstacks away. And if I were able to make it so that, like, say, flower is hot, then text is unstacked. If flower is to be unstacked right now, it doesn't unstack this text from it. Then, like, text is unstacked here. The flower text unstacks from it. This text melt, and then it scrolls, like, I don't know, it would have to scroll, like, itself, as well as something, actually, which I think is a lot more difficult. But that's the kind of idea that I want to have. The only issue is that That only works if this is the object that unstacks away from it. So text needs to... Yeah, text needs to scroll multiple things. Text needs to scroll multiple things. Text will have to be unstack. And text also needs to be melt. So this basically confirms we need 2 pieces of text. I don't know. If I put it all down here... Maybe it's not text. Maybe it's text. Maybe it's another object. Well, I can realistically do it for any piece of text, really. So like, let's just say I did it here. And I say... flower is melt, text is hot. And then flower scroll... like tree or something. Alright, then text is tree. Do I want that? Not really. But I do want tree is hot, which will maintain tree is tree. That's fine. If text is unstacked, what actually unstacks? I wanna know. The hot unstack. See, it's always the object that stays for some reason. And I don't feel like object priority is really something we should be worrying about in the solution. It's not something I would expect to be part of the solution anyway. Yeah, wow, okay. This is just really weird. Ouch. 10 pieces of text. I feel like I just need I need multiple texts to do this. So why not we start with that? Okay, so let's get multiple pieces of text here. I can do text is unstacked to get that text out. Sure. So multiple pieces of text, what can I do? Well, for starters, I can have text scroll multiple things, which is good. I want that. I want text to scroll, I think, flower or some... I want like... I want some stack text to start. So how about I stack... Let's say I stack flower and tree. So flower scroll tree. Text is hot. Flower is melt. Okay, sure. But the problem is that now we don't have any objects, which is bad. You know what? I can do this even more easily. I can just have the text scroll both flower and tree. Yeah. So flower can be hot, text can be melt. I don't know why I want to scroll, but let's say I sacrifice this word tree over here, because why not, right? I mean, if that's gonna turn into stack text, it has the exact same effect. Okay. Ooh, I don't like that happens. Let's try not to do that more than once. So now flower and tree are stacked on top of each other. Now I can do text scroll stuff. You know, this actually already allows us to like generate a lot of text. Because what I can do is I can do this, and I now have an extra flower text. So I can now repeat this process to generate more text of any kind. Yeah, so okay. Let's say I do that. What can I do afterwards? I want this to unstack. So text would be unstacked, sure. Text will need to scroll. I don't know, what does unstacking do? Unstacking does that. See, tree seems to always be the object that stays, which I think is really interesting. But the fact that one object always stays, I don't know if that's like good for an alternator or not. If it's not like alternating objects stay. But if text were to scroll like maybe a random word plus one of these two. Yeah, okay, so let's unstack this one more time. Let's try to generate a piece of tree text instead. So flower... Now, so text will now scroll both again. But instead flower is the one that's going to be sacrificed. Okay. So whatever, text is melt, flower is hot. Do that for one turn. We now have an extra piece of tree text. And I want that because I was wondering if maybe like if I had the flower text like unstacked into place here, the text scroll tree will be replaced with text scroll. What? Why does tree unstack now? I don't know. If I made text scroll flower, what will unstack? Will something different unstack? No. Okay, see there. There you go. That looks good, right? Okay. So now text will scroll whatever. I don't know, melt, I guess. Then flower... Actually, text can scroll hot. Then the flower can be hot. Sure, whatever. Then I want text to be melt. Ooh, I don't actually have much space. Can I have this occur elsewhere? Not really. I might need a bit more text. And by that I mean like text. Ooh, this might not be possible. I hear text needs to be unstacked. It needs to be... Can text be melt and unstacked with the same is? We can try that. Okay. So text, you will scroll melt, I guess. You can also scroll like... You can scroll melt and unstack. Actually, you can scroll hot and unstack. Why not? Wait, but why would I want you to scroll melt and unstack. Because text needs to be melt and unstack, but... If that's the case, how will text be unstack? How will text be unstack? I don't know. You know what? Okay. You will scroll melt and flower. Sure. And then text you will be... Oh... Okay, how about you unscroll, unstack, and flower? So you can be melt, and flower can be hot. Why not? Sure, just give me an extra piece of unstacked text. I'm not sure if I want this. I was hoping that maybe I could have like multiple melt texts because that's better. But multiple unstacked texts don't seem too bad either. They all actually seem pretty bad. In particular, I want melt and unstack to stack on each other. Like, if I want the extra melt text, what would I need? I could scroll melt. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna scroll melt and destroy one of the flowers. We don't need that many flowers anyway. Then I can make text as melt. Text will need to scroll multiple things, whatever. I can sacrifice one of the flower texts to make just a melt text. There you go. That's another melt text for you. And the reason why is so that I can scroll, unstack, and melt while the text is also melt. Yeah, that's why I want two melt texts. So now unstack and melt are stacked. So now text can be unstacked and melt at the same time. Okay. So just to quickly see what unstacks. Okay, also we have a problem. The melt and unstack will unstack each other. And I feel like I'm gonna want... Oh, actually, you know what else I can do? Hold on. Can't text just scroll... Can't text just scroll both? And then I have this. And then flower is hot. And then text is melt. This just lets me generate like a million pieces of double text. Sure. I don't want to do these too often though because... Oh. Wait, that's not good. That's not bad. Okay, so my question is... Actually, I haven't really checked. How many pieces of text are in here? It's 6, right? It has to be 6. There's no way you can go above 6. It went above 6 and it alternates. That's all I need. Why does it work like that? Why does text exist? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 6 of each. Oh, it's 6 of each. That's really interesting. Is it really 6 of each? Does it work for any other 2 objects as well, not just text? Oh, well in that case, I will be damned. I did not expect that. Okay. I mean, because of this miracle, I think we just solved the puzzle. I just wasn't bothered to try because I was sure it wouldn't work. But it actually does for some awkward reason. So yeah. I think I'm 1 off. I need it to be... Ooh, I need it to be opposite. Okay. If it needs to be the opposite, then the text needs to be slightly further away. Wait. How about this? There you go. Okay, it needs to be the opposite parity. So if I went here, I'll be in the wrong parity. Because when I push right, flower is float while I'm on the tree. I need to be the other way around. I need tree to be float while I'm on the tree. Then by just continuously moving forward, I can alternate between flower and tree being float, and this lets me through. Okay. So that's just a property of text unstacking that I just had not expected. Well, there you go. What a puzzle. I mean, at least I guess we managed to figure out a lot of interesting properties out of that. But yeah, I'm a little peeved at the fact that this is something that can happen and I just don't know it. But oh well. Alright, that's 3 more levels done. I'm gonna call an episode right now. We have only 4 more left and then we'll be done with this world. Probably. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.